Hi, everybody. This is Gayle. Welcome to my channel. I'm talking today with Valerie Reese about the Black Friday fundraiser on Saturday this year. And we're going to air this as a premiere. So listen up, take notes, because we're talking about what she does and all the different ways that the church helps and how you can help and be a part of this event. Now, if you haven't subscribed yet, this is a really good time to do that. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But don't forget to click that little bell too, because that's how you get notifications. And you're not going to want anything lit by you when it comes to the fundraiser. Valerie, I'm going to let you introduce yourself and tell us all about you.
Wow. My name is Valerie Reese. And my church is Providence United Methodist Church in Chesterfield, Virginia. And I've been with the church for, a lot of years, probably 15 years, 10 years at least. Been a part of the missions committee there. The missions committee helps out a lot of people facing homelessness and a lot of other things. And we run right now with no budget at all. So there's no money, any money that is raised has to be done through fundraisers. And there's a lot of people that we try to help. Our church is really, really small. And we just do the best we can with however we can raise our funds.
But now you help a lot of people, and you're a YouTuber too. Do you want to tell everybody how this got started, or do you want me to? Or
if you want, you can. Yeah, that's okay.
Well, it got started with several YouTubers coming together, which is Pet Monster, Monster Chick, or Pet and Chick. Now they have a fabulous channel. If everybody's heart is this big, theirs is this big. I pitched an idea to him to work on some videos maybe geared toward raising awareness of poverty. He's like, only if we can give the money to charity, definitely. And so he immediately thought of Val. So her church is getting any revenue from this event. It's a giant collab, really. Pet and Chick were involved. I was involved. Valerie was involved. Granny Monster was involved. Lots of other channels jumped on board. And this is a giant commercial to help you decide to get your channel on board too, from either live, video, or premiere. Whatever you want to do that day.
Or they can come into one of our lives if they want to also.
That's true. And we really do support each other.
It's really fun. It really is a fun day.
Yeah.
We just go from channel to channel and hang out and just have a lot of fun. And there's one thing that I did. Pet Monster did this thing before this even started. That he was doing, like, at Christmas time. It was like the 12 days of Pet Monster or something. And he asked different channels to say, on the 12th day of Christmas, Pet Monster gave to me, and we were supposed to make it fun. And then he put them all together in a collage and put a video out. Well, what I did was, because we do the Salvation Army Christmas stockings, my husband and I sat under the Christmas tree and we said, I don't know what our number was, like on the 8th day of Christmas, Pet Monster gave to me 8 Christmas stockings, and they were empty. And I said, well, what are we going to do with these? And my daughter was there, and we froze, and she took them out of our hands and put full ones in our hands. And then, like, quick, magic of camera, they were filled. And we said, oh, we're going to give them to children in need or something like that. And he said, Val, when I saw that video, I knew that I had to help you do something. He said, I wanted to get involved in what you do. So that was one of the things. And then when you approached him, I think that was him saying, I've wanted to find a way to help Val in her church. So that I do remember him saying, when you did that, I knew I had to help you do something. So,
good.
Yeah.
And the results have been really good. But we raised 350, was it, the first year?
And my heart was so filled because just spending the day and having all different countries coming together, Canada and Germany and, just everybody around the world. And by the end of the day, my heart was like, wow. I mean, all these people from all these countries who don't know me and don't know my church, and everybody donated a little bit just to help out, and it was amazing to me, the support.
And the donations aren't necessarily large. I know $2 and $3.
It adds up.
Yeah. And let's see, you're going to have a GoFundMe link. There's also PayPal. They can PayPal one of us, and Super Chat, all of that. Several different ways to help. But I kind of think of this as going even beyond money, because every channel that participates, whether they can financially do it or not, it's huge for raising awareness. And even if they don't help you, you never know who's going to hear this that might help their own community locally.
They can share the link as we're streaming.
Absolutely.
The link on their social media to get more interest coming in. It's just a wonderful event.
It is. It is.
The second year, we doubled that. We had a couple of nice supporters. No one, can I name supporters?
Yeah.
TJ Heaven was one of the first largest supporter that I had, and it's a fishing channel. And he donated $100, and that was like one of our first big donations that we got. And then last year we had Uncle Steve Shake, that was a very large supporter, monetarily and with his product, his
product, yeah, the Gator Shake.
And there's other channels that donated large amounts, like $50. Last year we were over $1,000, about 1,300 or something. I think it was amazing, and this is fourth year now, and
I still can't believe it's the fourth year.
I know. And I said, everybody, there's a lot of people struggling this year. Do we do this year? And he said, Val, it's a tradition. We can't not do this. So it's like, okay, well, Pet says we have to do it. So
yeah, well, and the need this year may be bigger than ever.
It is.
And we're not necessarily looking for large amounts. It's just you have a monetized channel. We would ask that whatever revenue you make that day, that you would donate it to the cause, unless you have super chats and stuff.
And another thing that I do want to say is, when you donate to PayPal or GoFundMe or however you want to donate, any charges, I don't really like, I hate to say the super chats, because they take a lot of money out of it. They take more out than PayPal and GoFundMe do, because I cover all those charges. That comes out of my pocket. I want every dime that's donated to go to the cause, and I don't want people to think that GoFundMe is going to get it, or PayPal or somebody else is going to go get it. If they do donate PayPal, just make sure that they donate friends and family, and not that they're buying something, so that
I was going to mention that.
Yeah, the money goes to the cause that it's supposed to go to.
And there's a lot of people that don't know that about the friends and family link. Yeah. So when you guys go into the PayPal account, if you send Valerie money that way, or send it to me and I send it to Valerie, anytime you go in to send, there's this little button that says friends and family. And if you send it that way, they don't take out a fee. We're not trying to avoid fees, but this is a gift.
Right.
And that's what it's set up for.
Right. And I've covered the fees every year for the past 3 years, and I intend to do it again, because I'm able to do that. And I do want them to know that their donations are going to the cause that they're donating to. I don't keep any of the money.
It's really kind of neat to see the GoFundMe link, because you can keep watching the total go up. And you can also see the donations when you scroll through. You can see that they're like $3, $5. Once in a while you'll get hit with a bigger one, $20, $50, whatever. But
right. I think it's fun. And I go from channel to channel all day too. so that I can be in the chat, or, if they want me to be on the live stream with them, that's fine also. But I like to be a part of everybody's stream.
Yeah, and that's something we really haven't talked about yet. If you decide to participate, the way it works, he puts a schedule together and you sign up your time slot, and then we'll run around during the day, going to each time slot and popping in to say hi and staying whatever time we can.
Right. And we put the link in the chats before we leave so everybody can follow us to the next one.
Yeah.
And we put the schedule out. And I did do a live chat today. CR came into my chat and I asked him if he would do it again this year. And he said he's thinking about doing that. Wait to look at see what's going on that day. But
sure,
I think he's probably going to join us.
Good.
And I may have a couple more that have contacted me.
Even whether you donate or not, it helps us for channels to participate, and it helps channels because they get to watch time because they're all running around saying hi to everybody.
Right.
Picture time. I have to show off what you're doing, and thank you for letting me use the photos, because you're always making the hats and gloves and scarves, and it's amazing. They're beautiful. But how many of these do you make?
I didn't count them, but I did a video. Actually, the video is going to be up on my channel sometime next week, because I just recorded a video because I'm getting ready to donate them, and I wanted to do something before I took them out of my house. I wanted to, and I posted them, I think, on my Facebook page too, but that's mostly for friends and family. That it's not a public page.
Right.
But my mom, who's 87 years old, knits all year long. It's, she lives by herself in an apartment. And my sisters keep an eye on her because she's out of state, but out of state for me, I should say. But I buy her yarn and will give her yarn when I see her, or send it to her. Say, how's your yarn stash? And my sisters get her yarn, and she just knits, and she knits mittens, and she knits little half mittens that your fingers stick out at the end so that you can, play with your phone or anything you want to do while you have mine. They're like hand warmers. And she knits children's hats. So she's got some bags with mittens and hats, like little sets put in little sandwich bags. And when I go to see her, she gives me, stacks of hats and mittens and stuff. And then my sister Patty, she knits a lot of stuff for children in the hospital. I don't know, they're like stress things where they can play. They have something to play with. So when they're going into surgery, it's less stressful for them. And
that sounds great for adults too.
Yeah.
I would love to have had something the last couple of times I had surgery.
She also knits hats, and she'll give me hats when I go up there too. And I'm knitting hats all year round. I knit hats. So, I mean, I haven't counted them, but I got like 3 boxes of hats here, mittens and stuff. And I know that I have a viewer that's I think she sent stuff to my post office box, but I haven't checked it yet. But I've got to go pick it up and check it, because I have the homeless agency that's going to take these hats, because there's a lot of people in shelters right now that are out of their homes, and it's families, and they need these supplies. And I also have the socks. Do you want to talk about the socks?
Yeah.
All right. Every year, one of the things that people in need, or people that are homeless on the street, one of their basic needs that they have is socks. Their feet are cold and they're on the streets, and they just need clean socks and warm socks. So I had been working with an agency out of North Carolina, and I would pay for the shipping, and they would just ship me as many pairs of socks as they could get me for adults. And the shipping was quite expensive, because when you're talking about 500 pairs of socks or 750 pairs of socks, the boxes are heavy. And so I paid $75 a box, and it usually was about 3 boxes up for socks every year. Well, they stopped doing it, and I was without a source. So I know that Bombas, the sock company Bombas, if you buy a pair, they give one to charity. I contacted them and told them what we did with the church and everything and the homeless. And they said, absolutely, we're going to send you socks. And they sent me 1,000 pairs of socks.
Wow.
They showed up on my doorstep, no shipping charges or anything. Free.
That's fabulous.
And they contacted me and they said, when you're ready next year, let us know. So like they've already got my name on the list for next year. So I have 1,000 pairs of socks. There's 250 pairs for children, 250 for like it's small, medium, large, and extra large. So it goes up from a children's size up to like a junior and a adult size. So
Wonderful.
it's amazing. And this poor man that delivered these socks to us, 4 boxes of socks, and he could barely, he had them on a dolly to try to get them up my stairs into my house. They're huge boxes. So I had to actually break them down into smaller boxes so that I can handle them because I've got to donate them. And there's no way I could lift those boxes. So
Sure. Not something like that.
it's amazing, the people that do awesome stuff to help our community. So, and there's
I've got a box over here to bring to you. I started to ship it, but I was going out of town. You were going out of town, so I'm going to bring these to you.
good. That's wonderful. Because I pulled down because we do the Christmas stockings, and I'm trying to get up with Salvation Army too to find out if they're still taking the Christmas stockings this year. I'm hoping that because I know there's going to be a need, and they service so many children every Christmas that I always fill, at least myself, I try to fill like 30 stockings, but we give them to the church. I'll pick them up and take them to the church, and the church, we usually have between 75 and 100 stockings that we donate. I don't know what's going to happen this year. I don't know if they're going to have it. I didn't see it on their website. I need to call them. And maybe they weren't ready when I looked. And I don't know about getting to the church because the church is not too many people going to church right now. It's still,
With COVID.
very limited seating. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. I do know that we are still helping the families at the school next to our church. There's an elementary school, and it's the children in the school are below poverty level. They're in a lot of need in that school. So they put out a list of children, and I personally adopted 2 teenagers for Christmas, and I coats and whatever they needed, all their sizes, and I had fun shopping. And the boxes are slowly coming in. And one of the fun things, one of the girls wanted a beanbag, and this big box came in the mail, and it was like, Steve's like, "What's that?" I said, "I don't know." I opened it up, and it's the beanbag. So it's like, so it's like I'm going to go through and do a video on everything before I wrap it up. But to me, it's fun, and the family hopefully will have a little bit of what they need. And then our class adopted a family with 3 small children, a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, and I think like a 5 or a 6-year-old. So we're working on getting items for that.
So the need is still there, but with not as many people coming to church. That means there's not as many people bringing items to help with too.
Even in our Sunday school class, when we used to have church every Sunday, we'd have Sunday school every Sunday, and everybody would throw $1 or $2 in the pot. And then we would have a chicken barbecue twice a year where we would make baked goods. Another class would do the chicken barbecue, and our class would do the baked goods. And that money would go towards the missions at the end of the year from our Sunday school class, the children that we adopt at Christmas time. We have not done the barbecues this year, and we have not had Sunday school class. We've had it virtual on Zoom, but we're not throwing $1 in the pot every week, or $2 or whatever it is that we throw in the pot every week. So we have some funds that were left over from the year before, but we're limited to what we can do. And, there were some people in the class that said, we'll throw some more money in. And my sister made a donation to our class. So, it's going to be okay. We're still going to help the families. But
you're going to be more limited in the number of families you can help.
Right. People from the congregation will help some of the other families, but this is personally myself and Steve and our Sunday school class. So
Well, I'm glad that you're able to do it at all. And just to let everybody know, on the stockings, she does a lot of stockings for the Salvation Army. And last year, I drove a few things out to her house. It took a few hours, but I got there. And the first thing, hi, Gayle, it's nice to meet you. We're putting stockings together right over here.
And immediately, here we went. Here's the clip from that.
That was a lot of fun, though.
yeah, it was. And I did the same thing to my sisters when I went up at Thanksgiving last year. And I took stockings and stuffers, and my sister bought some stuff to stuff some of the stockings, and we laid it all out on the table, and my mom was there, and we're like, okay, we're stuffing stockings. We did a lot because my sister wanted to be involved in it too.
But now, in addition to your Sunday school class doing Christmas for some kids, you also do several others. I can't remember what all. My Swiss cheese memory is at it again.
That's okay. We have Chasm. It's a local food bank through the community. It's a community food bank, which we collect food every Thursday. You bring food into the church, canned foods and stuff, and then we donate those bags to the organization Chasm. So we don't have a food bank in our church. We don't have the space for that, but we want to be part of making sure that within the local community, we take care of the elementary school next door, the children in need for that, the backpacks. We talk about that, but we also want to help to take care of the community. We are trying, every year we put together, we try to challenge ourselves from the year before, but we put together like bags for Thanksgiving for families, and there's each item, it tells you what to put in there, like 2 canned food, 2 canned vegetables, $25 gift certificate for a turkey, the stuffing mix, the potato mix,
everything you need for a Thanksgiving meal. It
right,
sounds
just
like
everything in there, thing of pumpkin and whatever. But I think last year we did close to 80 bags. And we have a small church. I'm telling you, our church is not that big. This year, because of what's going on, they're saying if each of the Sunday school classes can just donate some money instead of making food bags, and let Chasm put the bags together because of everybody touching the items, and they're just trying to be safer this year. So our class has voted to, make our donation, and they can put the bags together. So
yeah.
Kind of
that $1 a week coming into the plate for your Sunday school class, you're not going to be able to help as much. But, but our fundraiser can help you help them.
Another thing that we did last year, because we raised the $1,300, the biggest need in our church last year was the backpacks. And the backpacks are the children from A.M. Davis. Some of the children really live in poverty, and on the weekends they don't get meals. They depend on the free meals in school to eat. So I remember I went into the class one time, they were doing English as a second language. And I've told this story before, I know I have. I sat with one of the children while his parents were in the class. And I said, it was a half a day school. And I said, aren't you glad it's a half a day school? And he said, no. And I said, no. And he's like, when it's a half a day, I don't get to eat. I just wanted to go and make him a sandwich or something. I felt terrible that child wasn't going to have a meal.
But that's the reality for too many kids.
And so what I did last year, I had contacted the head of the committee that takes care of the backpacks. And I said, how's your funds? How are you doing? And they said, this was going into the Christmas season. And they said, you know what, when we hit January, we have no money left and we don't know what we're going to do to feed these children. And so after we had the fundraiser and we did so well with the fundraiser last year, I took $1,000 of the funds and gave it to the committee, and the gentleman that I presented to, we did the video and aired the video, and he was in tears. I mean, he was just so touched by the generosity of the YouTubers that he said that was enough money to feed the children for another 6 months and then some. because I think it's $12 a week to feed one child. And because they give them a variety of things, and I've done videos on that too, showing what's put in the backpack and showing everybody stuffing the backpacks. If you're doing it once a week, and that's enough food to last them the weekend, and you're doing 12 children is what we are sponsoring, 12 children, that adds up after a year. And what's happening now is because they're not going to school, they're still getting their backpacks, but they're also packing food for the families and trying to take a bag of food to the families also. So there's a bigger need now because they're not in the schools and they have to eat more than weekends. They have to eat every day now. So we have to give more food. So I haven't talked to there. I did talk to Mike, one of the heads on the committee, and he was supposed to be getting me some numbers. I think actually he did. They're in my email. Sorry.
That's fine.
But yeah, they're in need. They are in need.
I just want to tell everybody we're going to link her channel down below so you can check out some of the videos that she's done as far as what's going home to the kids on the weekend and things like that.
They help the children, those children that were in the biggest need. They
Okay.
them through the summer too.
Okay. So you do help the kids during summer, and it's not just a during the school year thing.
Right. And right now it's, they have to feed them for the week, not just for the weekend, because they're not going to school.
So everybody participate, okay?
Yeah.
It's to think about kids in that kind of situation.
My heart goes out to the children because they have no control over it. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that are hungry and don't have shoes, and you know what I'm saying? They're the ones that don't have clothes that fit them, and they're the ones with the biggest need. And it's not to say the parents are sitting home not working either. Right. It's parents are working, but they just don't have enough money to, take care of bills and everything else that they have. It's low paying jobs.
I talked to somebody a couple of days ago who, now they live alone and they're a senior citizen, but they're getting like $30, $35 a month in food stamps.
Yeah, that doesn't do anything.
No.
Because some of the lists that we got for the children that we're helping out, they wrote on there that this child really needs a coat or this child really needs shoes. They kind of like made a note of where the biggest need was for each child. And you got to remember too that they're not going to be able to afford much electricity either. So these children are going to be cold at night. So they're probably going to end up wearing coats and gloves and stuff to bed at night too, because they're going to be cold.
And some people don't get that. No.
Electricity bill is, more than they can afford to pay. So it's a no-win situation.
It is.
Yeah.
And, for some people, that's the reality.
Absolutely.
Or they're in their car. There's some kids in that too.
Right. And I knew a young couple, they were living in their car up in a parking lot and away from our church, just down the street from our church. And somebody saw them there a few times and ended up bringing them down to our church. And we had space to let them stay. They stayed temporary to try to get on their feet. And Steve and I, when we were living in our other house by the church, we used to bring them down and let them eat dinner with us. At least on the weekends, when we were home. But I mean, they both had good jobs. And then for whatever reason, and this has been years back. This is recent, not within the last, 4 years or whatever. Because we've been here about a year and a half now in the new house. But it was back before that. And they just, for whatever reason, they lost their jobs and ended up sleeping in their car. And they didn't have children. I mean, I'd say thank goodness, because I hate to see children living in a car or something like that. But It's easier for an adult to do it themselves, to not have to worry about their children. But you still feel for those people that,
Right.
they have to feed themselves. They have to have money for the basic needs.
When I worked with a food pantry, we actually had some times when people asked for canned stuff, and they're like, we're cooking it over a fire and we can heat the cans. That was an eye-opening, paradigm shifting moment for me. You guys do such a large amount of work.
We the agency, and I was talking to the director down there the other day because she's a member of our church, and her and I are friends. So, because I was asking her, I said, I have all these hats, and they usually do in November the big function at the convention center where they bring in usually about 800 people facing homelessness, and they have people there giving haircuts, and they have people there, dentists there fixing their teeth, and they have doctors there, any of basic needs. They have pastors there that will pray with them. We feed them a meal. Our church sets up an area that has clothing that was donated in it. And that's usually where the socks go. That's where I give out all those socks. This year they're not doing it because they can't have that many people in
social distancing, sure.
And so they were trying to think about doing a lot of little areas, but then they said, it just can't be done. So that's why she said, we'll take the hats to shelters instead, because we still have to have people housed in shelters and they have children. So we can use that, and we can use the socks, and we can still do it. Because I said, I'm sitting here with 1,000 pairs of socks, and I got them to donate, and it's still going to be winter and people still need them. I need to donate them. And I want, right. And so she put me in contact with people from one of the shelters that I can help out this year, because we're not going to have our big event. So, which is sad. I mean, because we always have so much clothing that's donated that we give out for free. I mean, we don't charge anybody for anything. So it's basically, we say pick one shirt and one pair of pants, and when 800 people get through here, if there's anything left, then anybody can come take whatever they want. But we want to make sure that hopefully we'll have enough to give everybody something.
And I just want to toss out from my experience in the nonprofit world from having run a ministry center, some of the clothes that are donated just really don't need to be donated. If they're torn, ripped, if they're so stained that you're not going to wear them, don't think about anybody else wearing them either.
No, we go through them. I mean, we do take dress clothing because people do go on interviews and try to, get jobs and stuff. So we will take dress clothing, like the suits and stuff. But
nice.
Jeans, people like jeans. We got to get a lot of people who are working outside, that try to do odd jobs or whatever, working outside. They like jeans and stuff. So
sturdy.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's listening. I hope this is convincing you to participate in the giant collab. Now, we try to do this for 24 hours, but we kind of fall short sometimes. How many different channels did we have participating last year? Do you remember?
Quite a few. I think we went through, some people did twice. Like they'd take one in the morning and then they'd come back on in the afternoon and do a second stream. So we did have some people do a couple separate times during the day. And I think we started around 8 last year. And I think Pet and Chic usually do the last one at night. And I think that ran around midnight. So I think we filled from 8 a.m. to midnight last year. And we may have had a slot. I think we lost somebody. I think Kyle Lusk, we kind of lost last year because he had an injury that day. One of his children had a tooth knocked out or something, and he had to run to the hospital. I have talked to Kyle this past week. A few days ago, I talked to Kyle, and he wants to try to help again this year. So I realize you had difficulties last year, but we still want you to come back. So, he was getting ready to go to work, and I said, well, what time is it? And it was 2:00 here in the afternoon today. And it was almost 7:00 in the morning tomorrow there. So we were trying to figure out if he did a live stream, how we would figure out the time. I guess we could figure it out because he's already in our tomorrow. So
there are time calculators just for this reason.
yeah. So we'll try to figure that out, but he's going to see, what his schedule brings. And when we say it's Black Friday, some people that are not in America, in the United States, don't know what that is. And they, don't know when our Thanksgiving is, or some people do, but
that's true.
So it's on November 28th, our time. In Scotland, it would be November 29th because they're a day ahead of us.
Are they a day, or are they I think they're just like 6 or 8 hours.
Well, if it was 2:00 here and it was 7:00 in the morning there, how many hours is that? I don't know.
7 hours, I think. So online time calculator, world clock. Here we go. We'll have to use that.
That's quite a few hours anyway.
It exists for a reason.
Yeah.
But that's where it's really helpful, even when a channel can't donate because of like international fees and stuff like that. It's still important to have channels that can still participate because they're raising awareness. And they may reach somebody, and we even had it happen, I think, where somebody in another country touched somebody else's life by talking about it. And then like the next year, bam, how can I help? And you're on board.
But see, they still, if they donate through GoFundMe, I think they still can donate because the first year I got donations from like Japan and stuff.
Nice. Okay.
Oh my gosh, I got a donation from like Japan. I don't know if they had fees connected with that, but I do know that I got donations. And I think I got one from Germany last year. And I know Action Gal's from Germany, and she's helping us out again this year.
She's great.
Yeah, her and Granny Monster are collabing to do yeah. So I think she'd give me the time that she wanted. But I haven't put my schedule together yet. But we need more channels. We definitely need more channels participating.
And in the last couple of minutes, Valerie, what do you want people to know about what you do with your church or anything?
Just everything that we've talked about. It's just, there's so much need, and I have a passion for missions. I really do. And even if I wasn't affiliated with a church, I would still have a passion for missions. Because, we've moved an hour and 15 minutes away from our church. We're living in another community now. And I've got my eyes, I'm searching all over for other opportunities to help out. I always want to be helping somebody out. So, I mean, the passion is there. I just, it takes a community, it takes a lot of people working together to make a change. And we just can't sit back and see things that aren't right. And, and when it comes to children, there's nothing children can do. We have to help the children. So even if they can't afford, or they want to give, but they don't say we have people in our own community, that's fine. This is to build awareness too.
Right.
So I even had people the first year saying, I can't afford to give here, but I can afford to give in my community. And I said, thank you, just thank you for coming and sharing this time with us and just to build that awareness. So, and I know, my sister puts shoe boxes together, but some go to other places, but the ones that they do for their church in Northern New York, they go to their community. So it's all going to a good cause. So
that's great. So, thank you for Valerie, thank you first for being here talking about this. And thank you all for tuning in and listening. And I hope it will inspire you to take part.
And if they want to stream, but they feel like, oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to say or do, just have them reach out. You can put my email link in your description box.
Okay.
So they can reach out to me or to you, and we can, help them through it.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to do it because I'd like to do it, but I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah.
Sure. And some people are joining other people's channels for a live stream, elsewhere. So thank you all. Thank you, Valerie. And make sure everybody remember it's always about hashtag be bodacious, which means you're not going to let life get in the way of living. And thank you for listening. And make sure, hey, y'all, share this on your social media, okay? Let's get the word out. Grow. Thanks for watching. We're going to see you all on the next video or live stream.
Thank
Bye.
you, Gayle.
Thank you. Bye-bye.